Obviously, since this is a mental health podcast, there are some disclaimers I have to go through. First of all, I am not a medical professional. I am just a girl with a passion and years of experience and a psych degree. So please take what you want, leave the rest, and speak with a medical professional if you do need medical advice. Also, this is a very real podcast. It will be uncensored. I will try and bleep out some cuss words, but I cannot guarantee that all will be. With that, if you have any little ears around, please be cognizant. And also, I will be speaking on some pretty sensitive topics. So please listen only when and if it feels right for you. Finally, I do have the mental health hotline. If you need to speak with anyone, they are around 24/7, and their number is 844-685-7030. I used to work for them. They're super helpful. Please give them a call. Welcome back, everyone. I keep adjusting my outfit because the goal here, the dress code, is cute ragamuffin. I don't want to just be ragamuffin. I want to be like cute casual. But my buttons keep coming undone. So if I keep looking at my sleeve, it's because I am trying to look semi-professional. Anyways, welcome back to Be Well with Alex. And I've been thinking recently, have you ever listened to a podcast and they have a nickname for their followers, kind of like a cult, I want some names for my cult followers. So I was thinking about this. I was thinking maybe like wellness warriors. Is that cheesy? I feel like I've always called my followers that in my head, my wellness warriors. Saying out loud, I'm cringing, so cheesy. But also I kind of aim to be a little cringe. I don't know. Point being, comment what you think that we should call each other in the comments. While I have you, take a couple moments and smash that follow button and also leave a review because it does help your girl out. That's how we're going to keep growing this community and how you can stay tuned every week on new episodes. I really appreciate that. Hopefully 5 stars. Okay. I'll stop being annoying now. Let's get into it. We're going to start with our mangoes and lemons. If you're new to this podcast, this is where I share something that's going well in my week and something that's going not so well. I hope that you will also do the same. Let us know what's going well in your week. Let us know what's not. The little tile that you see on the screen as I segue into this, that is a painting that was made by my dear friend Aubrey. Give a little round of applause for Aubrey. It's just such a cute little painting, and it made my day when she sent me that. I haven't heard from her in a while, so miss you, girl. My mango is that it is Eating Disorder Recovery Month. So a lot of people right now on the internet, myself included, are raising awareness around eating disorders, who it impacts, why you should care, whether or not you have an eating disorder. And I really love to see that. I think my problem with months that raise awareness, however, is after that month concludes or day or week or whatever it is, people tend to drop off and they're not promoting the cause as much anymore. It makes me sad. How can you help out this month? Please go share. It doesn't even have to be my content. It can be any creator's content around eating disorders. Do your own research, promote things yourself, or just go out and educate yourselves. Reach out to someone who may be struggling even, because we know often someone or some people in our lives who do struggle with this. You don't have to talk to them about it, but just check in. Check on your friends and family, see how they're doing. And I think those little acts, they really add up in the end and help us keep building awareness around eating disorders and keep building that community, because having an eating disorder is one of the, if not the most isolating experiences you can ever go through. And obviously, I speak from experience on those experiences. My lemon is that I recently got shadow banned because I had the word recovery in my bio. Let me know how that makes sense. I still don't know. If you're unaware of what a shadow ban is, this is where Instagram, they decide that your content is somehow dangerous or should not be shown to the general public, so they start limiting your views. How do you know if you get shadow banned? I had noticed specifically that my own views on my page had started going down, but it was pretty consistent, and it was about a month, I would say, that I went through and I was like, you know what, I'm making the same amount of content and I'm not getting the same amount of engagement that I was before. And I feel like my content's pretty on brand. I don't feel like I'm saying anything that is harmful in any way. I got curious and I went on ChatGPT and I asked it why my viewership might have gone down, and they told me to check my account status. So there's a place in your settings on your Instagram where you can check your account status. And if you see a little orange exclamation point under limits, views, and reaches, that shows that something is wrong on your account. I don't want to say wrong. It shows that something is not up to Instagram standards on your account. So you need to go in and review what that may be. Again, for me, it was because I had the word recovery in my bio, which I think is just wild because if you think about it, think of all the harmful messages that are on social media that I myself am trying to combat, which is women or young ladies maybe putting out their weight or some diet that isn't healthy and promoting that. There's this whole skinny talk movement, which we can talk forever about that as well. But that's essentially where ladies and young women, actually anyone, is going online and just sharing really harmful ways to lose weight. And none of that is getting banned. You don't see any of that getting taken down. In fact, it has millions of views, millions of likes, and yet I have the word recovery in my bio and I get shadow banned. So obviously I'm a little salty about that and I did take it quite personal. And that's something that has gotten me quite down. Now, I did fix my bio. I took the word recovery out and that seemed to have fixed the issue. But I'm still regaining back my viewers and I still haven't gained any followers in this past month. So it's just a slow process and I'm starting to get really frustrated, but I'm hanging in there because it's not the follows that matter. I mean, I do want to know that my hard work is being viewed by people, of course. That's my whole mission here is I want to reach as many people as possible, but it's not the end all be all. At the end of the day, if my message is still getting to my followers and it's still getting out there, I'm happy with that. But it would be nice to know that with the work I'm putting in, I'm reaping those benefits and drawing in new people as well. So that's my lemon. It's just been a very frustrating ride. All right, on with the episode. The other day, I saw another reel. Can you believe it? I can't. It was promoting services to help people gain 1 million followers in just 30 days. And I was like, sounds a little too good to be true. So I scrolled down, and the reel right under that was teaching people how to gain $100,000 per year working between matcha and Pilates. I was like, okay. And then the one after that, now this one was more my speed. It was making fun of the post prior by this person teaching someone how to earn a cup of coffee on their own this month. That was $4. And I was like, in this economy, that makes more sense. But point being, people have built businesses out of tearing others down and making them feel as though they aren't doing enough. I don't want you falling into that trap. You are doing enough exactly where you are, but let's talk about why these business models work so well. Even though I was a dual psychology and editing, writing, and media major, these tactics still work on me, which goes to show how scary effective they are. My whole degree was master manipulation. I am an evil scientist. And the first skill that evil scientists use is called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance creates a gap between who you are, someone who, in this case, isn't doing enough, according to the social media ads, and who you want to be, someone who is productive, healthy, successful, which then creates physical discomfort. Social media ads exploit this. Maybe you're proud that you started an Instagram and you already have 200 followers. That's an amazing feat even to simply get started and put yourself out there. But ads, they say you think that's good. My clients got over $1,000 last month. And all of a sudden you start second guessing yourself. You think, is my content even that good? Maybe I could benefit from this coaching program. Like I mentioned earlier, I've fallen trapped to this myself. When I first started Be Well with Alex, I had gained initial traction, but then it kind of lulled, like how it's going right now. One ad that I recently purchased was a coaching program for One Peak Creative, which is a company who helps you strengthen your reels specifically with strong hooks and lead-ins and different marketing tactics and different transitions. It was interesting to me and I loved their videos, which is why I decided to join the coaching program myself. I haven't gone all the way through yet and I do like it, but at the same time, I don't buy into the hoopla that I'm gonna gain millions of views in, I think it was 50 days or something ridiculous. That's just not realistic for anyone. And again, that's how they nab you. They're like, "You want money back guarantee, 50 days, millions of views." And some people, they never even end up taking the course. We'll talk more about that in a bit. But that still might not get you to buy. So there are other methods of persuasion that these ads use. They tap into your centers of emotion over logic. For example, have you ever gone to the store and you see a necklace that you are just in love with? And a sign on the door says, chance to buy. You're like, oh my God, all of a sudden I have to have this necklace. It can't go on my Christmas list because what if it's gone by the time Christmas rolls around? So you buy the necklace. Then you go back with your friend a couple weeks later and you notice, hey, the sign's gone, but the necklace is still in the container. What gives? Well, that was again just a marketing ploy to get you to buy. They created a sense of urgency. They said, get it or it's going to be gone, even if sometimes it's not even gone. Another one that I just thought of that I had not written down was, have you ever gone to a Black Friday sale? I don't even do the Black Fridays anymore. You'll go to a Black Friday sale and they'll say 50% off of everything, the entire store, right? But they'll mark up the prices beforehand. So you're actually ending up paying the exact amount that you would on any normal day. Really doesn't make sense, but you see how these companies are messing with you, creating that sense of urgency. This is your only time to buy, or else you won't be able to buy again. You won't be able to get a deal like this. Social media ads do the exact same thing. They create a false sense of urgency to spark immediate action. If that still doesn't work, then they leverage FOMO. And for all my boomers out there listening, if you don't know what FOMO is, it stands for fear of missing out. It's a phenomenon that a lot of people experience where, let's say, their friends are throwing a rager during finals, a big party during finals week. And you know you need to be studying for your test, but you're really scared to miss out on this party because you've heard DJ Khaled is going to be there, or you've heard this cute boy that you've had a crush on forever is going to be there, and you don't want to miss out on a good time. So you go to the rager and then you're exhausted and you end up failing your finals. That's an extreme example, but that is essentially what fear of missing out is. Ads use this to their advantage as well. They will take something and say, look, this is a one-time deal and you're going to miss out on this deal if you don't act now. So again, creating that sense of urgency, making you feel like if I don't buy into this, I'm going to be lesser than, I'm going to be the outsider. And that just scratches the surface. The funny thing is, most of us know this. We know these marketing tactics and we fall for it anyways. Again, hello, psych and EWM major. I know I shouldn't fall for these ads and I do. And it's not a failure on our part. I just want to make that very clear. With social media being so prevalent nowadays, it literally gets shoved in your face and down your throat. You open your phone and it's right there in front of you all of the time. You can't escape it from morning to night. It's not just some infomercial that you see on the telly after you get off of work anymore. Sure, you can click on the three dots and say, no, Siri, I'm not talking to you. Bye bye, Siri. You can click on the three dots on a video and say, I don't want to see ads like this anymore. But oftentimes that just gets rid of the creator and the message. It doesn't get rid of all of these ads in this category as a whole. So what? Are you supposed to go on every single ad and say, I don't want to see this, don't want to see this, don't want to see this? Because you can't get rid of ads entirely. You're always going to get something new. Then what do we do with this? What are some solutions? Number one, I've said it before and I'll say it again, limit your screen time. And no, you don't need to get some fancy lockbox from Instagram to lock your phone away in. Kind of reminds me of that episode from, I believe it was Modern Family, where the teenagers were all on their phones a lot. So one of the parents bought a lockbox where they all had to put their phones in the box during dinner. She would set a timer for a certain time. I think it was like 1 to 2 hours. And you physically could not open the box until the timer went off. The teen ended up getting so desperate that she took the box and she just smashed it on the counter. And then she grabbed her phone out of it. So that's also an extreme example, but you don't need some fancy box, at least in my opinion. I don't know your life. If you think that'll work for you, whatever, go for it. I say DIY that. Make yourself a cute little lined drawer or lined box, put your phone in there, and then walk away. And you might be thinking to yourself, Alex, that's like telling an alcoholic to put beer in the fridge and walk away. The key here is the walk away part. You need to create physical distance between you and your phone and go find something to do with your hands. That sounds a little naughty. Hey, maybe you want to get a little naughty. I don't know your life, but I just mean go do something crafty. Get outside. Start that novel that you've told everyone and their mom that you're going to write. This is your time, and the possibilities are endless. View it as that. This is your time to reset. The trap that most people fall into is they stay in the same room with their phones. Sometimes they put it in the drawer that's within arm's reach. That's so tempting. That's just like a toddler who's sitting there looking at an Oreo right in front of them. They're going to eat the Oreo eventually. You're going to pick up your phone eventually. I'm saying get up, move out of the room, and go find something to do for an hour, even 10 minutes. Just create a little distance. Next, keep a little wins log or journal. I feel like people shudder when I say the word journal because it sounds like a New Year's resolution that you're not going to keep. But all I mean here is every time you take a step towards your dreams and towards your goals, jot it down and look back on it whenever you see a post that threatens to tear you down. If you're feeling bad about yourself, you can just whip up your phone in your notes or wherever you decide to keep your log and say, you know what? No, I did a lot the other day. It can be as simple as I made a business card for my business, or I found a vendor to buy business cards for my business from. And that will also hold you accountable as well because you will want to look back on your journal and see all of those little wins. You'll want to have something to write about. Again, write down the little stuff. It makes a world of a difference. It really does. Next, my therapist is always reminding me to listen to the nouns. What words are speaking to me throughout the day? In this case, maybe you listen to those posts. Dig deeper than just, they're telling me that I want to make $100,000 this year. Okay, if it's finance related, are you financially secure in your current role or have you been considering a career change? Maybe instead of signing up for some high ticket sales that you have no business in, the first step is to simply update your resume and casually peruse job openings online that speak to you. Social media teaches us that we have to go to these big extremes to achieve our goals and that our dreams can be achieved instantaneously. It's only that we're not doing enough, that we're not spending enough. That's simply not true. You can reach your goals over time through smaller daily steps that are less overwhelming and likely to leave you stuck or spiraling. We just have to figure out what those steps are for you. One way to do that is by listening to the nouns, writing down what's speaking to you during the day, and what little changes can you make in your life to get you there. So it's very individualistic. Now, listen, I'm not saying that coaching is bad or wrong. Heck, I signed up for a $4,000 tutoring class recently that I didn't really need, but I knew it would hold me accountable and keep me on track towards my goals. And guess what? After I took that class, my goals changed completely, which is also okay. What I'm saying is, even after those services conclude, if you're still not where you want to be, it isn't you. It's not your fault. Think about it. If 1 million followers were that easy to achieve, don't you think everyone would have 1 million followers by now? If retiring by the age of 40 were mainstream, don't you think you would show up to a baby shower and everyone is talking about their latest trip to Cancun? My goal is not to say that this is impossible or to avoid all products and services you see online. My goal is to help you have more consumer awareness and less negativity like you're the problem. Because every time you open social media, you automatically become a consumer. Finally, let's reevaluate some of our goals. The world we live in today is so materialistic that it's easy to get caught up in the red bottom shoes and the YSL bags of it all. But whatever happened to touching grass? That's been a popular comment online recently that people say to others who are crashing out. They say, you need to go touch grass. Honestly, this quote holds some truth. I personally feel like I'm the happiest and most at ease when I go back to the basics. If I've slept well, if I've ate well, if I've gone outside that day, hugged a loved one, hydrated, I feel like the $1,000,000 that I am going for. Maybe we simply need to simplify some of our goals around our basic human needs or our little daily joys. I guess this kind of goes hand in hand with my limit your screen time point, but not entirely. I want to emphasize that you can still have your millionaire goals. If you want to be a millionaire one day, I'm not going to stop you. Heck, invite me on your yacht. please. But I'm saying that we also need to have our basic little joys goals as well. Putting those on your checklist and checking those off are still going to feel just as rewarding as doing the little steps that are going to make you a millionaire one day. And again, remember, this isn't going to be all instantaneous. It's going to take some time to get in the groove of things, even as you're adapting a new routine or even as you're learning new skills to get you to where you want to be financially. I think I'm done with that topic today. That was a long rant. But before we go, we're going to get into some listener questions. Thank you all for submitting your questions. I tend to pick 2 to 3 a week. If you want to submit a listener question, there are a couple ways you can do so. The one that I recommend is going on our new website. It's bewellwithalex.com. Super simple to remember. If you go on there and scroll down to contact me, it's all the way on the bottom of the homepage. You can submit a listener question there, and you can also sign up for our weekly newsletter. That is just an email that I send out to everyone on that mailing list around the topic that I'm discussing that week. And it'll be additional reflections, things I'm thinking about, maybe some resources I found, and also some words of encouragement. So if you want a little bit more personalization to your week, please go in there and sign up for that because I would love to talk with you more. That would be my preferred method to get listener questions. But if you also want to reach me through Instagram, you can do so as well. Just DM me through my Be Well with Alex podcast Instagram, and I will take them through there. I appreciate it. And let's get into the questions for this week. Alex, I want to write a book, but I don't know how to stay motivated. How do you stay dedicated to your podcast? Do you want the real answer or do you want me to hype you up? I'll give you the real answer first. I have ADHD, so I have the superpower to zone in on anything I'm passionate about for hours on end and ignore the things that I am not passionate about. Right now, I am sleeping, eating, breathing this podcast because I am passionate about the topics that I'm sharing and promoting. And that's the real answer, but that's not going to help you. This might help you. My therapist told me the other day that I'm really good about taking things that I'm passionate about and incorporating them into my routine in a natural way to where they don't feel like tasks. For instance, I know I'm not a morning person. I will never try to change myself into being a morning person. I know I get up early to work out, but when it comes to engaging with others early in the morning, it's not for me. So I like to do the bulk of my writing in the morning instead, or a lot of my what I call focus work in the morning while I'm refreshed. And then in the afternoon is when I take the bulk of my business calls for my 9 to 5 job. Now, does that always work out? No. I work in HR. So, of course, there are things that I have to address first thing in the morning. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. But in my ideal world, I like to do a lot of my writing in the morning and then I kind of ease into the day and take my calls in the afternoon. The other time when my energy peaks is after work and before dinner. I'll come home and I've been staring at a laptop all day. So I'll put my laptop away. I'll do some chores for a bit, get off of my screen so I don't get a headache. And then I'll go and do some editing on my laptop. And at that point, Austin's normally getting home from work. So we'll eat dinner together and then we'll watch our show and then we'll go our separate ways for the night. That's kind of our routine. But again, you might be a parent or have a really busy work schedule. So that might not work for you. You have to find out what does work for you. My point here is don't say, okay, at exactly 1 p.m. every day after lunch, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to bust out a chapter of my book because that's the only free time I have to breathe during the day. No, if you do that, then it's going to feel very forced. It's going to feel like a chore or an appointment that you have to take. And you're either going to avoid it, you're going to put it off because you just feel too burnt out, it feels too heavy, or you're going to have it. And you don't want to do either of those things. I tell people I coach with ADHD this all the time. Evaluate when your peaks of energy are, and then just try and block out some time around them. Don't make it super, super strict and stringent. I think this is important too. If you ever feel like you never have downtime, you're going to burn yourself out. And the last thing you're going to want to do during your free time is write. I would say maybe the first step is to take a look and evaluate what needs to change for you in order to explore your passions and reach your goals. What do you need to change in your schedule to allow yourself to have some chill time and also prioritize some time for your passions? Maybe they go hand in hand. Finally, I would say remember your why. Why are you writing this book? What is the purpose behind it? The true purpose behind it? If it's to help people or even show yourself that you can, envision that as your reason to sit down and write even when you're not feeling it. Because We could do all the things right in the world, and we might not be feeling it that day. That's just the way that the world works. So remember your why. Remember why you're doing it. Keep that vision in your head, and you might feel a little more motivated. I hope that helps. Let me know, whoever you are, because I really want to read your novel. I'm so curious to see how it pans out. Heck, if you need to run it by someone, I will read your manuscript. I will do that, girl. That's exciting. I'm excited for you. Next question. Alex, how do you cope with food guilt? Ooh, that's always a good one. If you're new here, I was once diagnosed with anorexia nervosa after a traumatic series of events in my life, which caused me to address my long-standing relationship with food. Once you start trying to re-nourish your body, your brain perceives the intake of food as wrong. And this can happen for many reasons. It can happen for feelings of inadequacy, going against preconceived diet rules, fullness from overeating, etc. But in order to diminish those thoughts, we have to give our brain the fuel that it's been lacking until it realizes that food and weight gain are actually safe and they're healthy even. That requires doing the opposite of what your brain wants you to do and eating even when it feels wrong. How did I personally cope with this? I feel like I channeled my inner teenage dirtbag baby. I gave my brain the big old F you, I'll do what I want. And I made that want anything that would get me closer to recovery. If my brain told me to put down the fork and not take the last bite, I'd put the fork to my lips and then I'd proceed to lick the plate clean. If that threatened to send me into a panic attack after a meal or a snack, then I'd walk away and I'd go distract myself until the next game or challenge. So it's all about the reframes here. You can't force a thought away, but you can manage them until they get quieter by viewing the hard moments as games or quests. That's what I did personally, but if anyone else has any tips or tricks for our friend here, please drop them in the comments because I'm curious to hear them as well. It's really hard. That's a really hard one. I hope you're able to overcome that eventually because I've been their girlfriend or guy friend. As I mentioned before, it is Eating Disorder Recovery Month. One more time, how you can help support. Do your research, check in on your friends and family, see how they're doing. Go online, look at my content, post anything that you think might be helpful for other people, post other people's content as well. I really do want the conversation to keep flowing around eating disorders because I think people shy away from it because they're worried about negatively impacting other people, and therefore we're just silent. And I think that that in turn negatively impacts other people. So I think it actually does need to be talked about more, and we do need some more resources around this. I'll get off my soapbox on that now. Thank you for being here. If you like this message, if you like what I do, you don't even have to like me. If you just like what I stand for, go ahead and follow us and share with a friend, leave a review. All these things help get the message out there and bring other people into this community, those who may be struggling. So, as always, I really appreciate you being here and be well, everyone. That scared me.